What's going on, folks? That's right. It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's another great episode of Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields.
The Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.
That's right. We are here Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. And yep, as I was saying before, it's one of the great times of the week here, man. And you know what? I would not be able to do this without my great co-host. That's right, of War Week Boxing, Mr. Joseph Heron. What's going on, Joe?
Well, I tell you what, my favorite time of the week to spend time with one of the greatest who have ever done it, the incomparable Coach Ronnie Shields. Woo!
Yeah, what's going on, Coach Ronnie?
Oh man, nothing but work, man. Work.
Oh man, work. Of course, you're just coming off of one fight, and now you got another fight here that you're preparing for. So I mean, definitely, the gym is on and popping, as they say, man. So definitely looking forward to what's going on with all that.
Absolutely, man.
Yep, for sure.
Hey, congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, your heavyweight, Josh Edwards.
Oh
Look
man,
outstanding. Boy, getting rid of making it look easy. Pummeled him into submission. What, within how many minutes?
I think it was a minute and 1 second, something like that.
mm-hmm.
Just too much heat, man, for the big guy from the DC area.
No,
he's from around South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about
South
that.
Carolina. Yeah.
You
South
did have
Carolina.
his last fight that was in the DC area, but yeah, he that was a good performance there from Joshua Edwards. Saw the setup that he had was getting to the body, punch the body, and that set up the shot to go upstairs with it. So hey, we had those different tools that he was able to get from the legendary coach himself, Ronnie Shields, man. So that was definitely a great showing there from Joshua Edwards on Friday night.
So what grade would you give Mr. Edwards this past Friday?
I would definitely give him an A+. Our plan, working on this fight for the last 2 weeks, because we went through like 4 different opponents. But for the last 2 weeks, we had this guy. And the plan was to not let him breathe. Just watching this guy, if you sit on the outside and try to box this guy, the guy gets really confident that he can really do something. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to take that away right away. So the plan was to jump right on top of him with the jab, back him up with the jab and throw right hands. And he did that. He caught him with a big right hand, hurt him with it, and then he just went to work on him. And the referee stepped in and stopped it.
Tell you what, looked very impressive, and congratulations, because Oscar De La Hoya, immediately following that performance, announced that he is now going to be on the 28th card of MVP Promotions. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, so he's like right back at it.
Yeah.
No time.
Like he took any damage.
That's for heavyweights, that's the more fights. For I'm talking about young heavyweights. I think the more fights they have, the better off they'll be in the coming years.
Mhm.
Especially Josh is 25 years old now, so he's not he's not really young, but in the heavyweight division, he is because of the amount of fights he has. 2-0 right now. So the more experience he gets, the better off he's going to be. Look, this kid is a really, really good fighter, and he's really smart, but he's very athletic, and he can adjust to any style. We throw a lot of different styles at him in the gym. Fortunately, here in Houston, we do have southpaws, and we have guys that go both ways, and we have guys that come to you, guys that box you. So we're using all of those guys, to help Josh to prepare for whatever he may see early in his career.
Oh, it's definitely great, man. Like you said, the prior week, having all of those fighters that were coming in and out of, the gym and getting them prepared, regardless of who the opponent was, gets them to the level of where he could, be ready for just about anybody in any challenge. Because, the thing is, when you have like last minute opponents, it's like a lot of times, fighters scramble to see if they have to like adjust and do things like that in order to be prepared for that opponent. But here with Joshua Edwards, he had like a lot of those fighters coming in, like you said, either with southpaw fighters or orthodox fighters that at this particular point, it didn't really matter who the opponent was going to be.
Absolutely.
Hey, but Ronnie, talk about how difficult it is in the American market to find opposition and even sparring in the heavyweight division.
It's really difficult. You have to be lucky, and fortunately for us, it's about 4 or 5 heavyweights around the area that, we can call, and they'd be more than happy to come. But heavyweights are hard to find, man. They really
don't
are.
play. They don't play, coach.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. But like I said, fortunately, we have about 4 or 5 heavyweights in the Houston area that, that's willing to come and spar with Joshua and help him out. Joshua been knowing some of them for a long time, and they all kind of like Joshua a lot. So, so they're willing to come in and help him. So that's a great thing to have.
Yeah, most definitely.
Just don't ask my brother Terrell Herndon to come and spar because he didn't want to get beat up, man, before the Deontay Wilder fight on the 27th.
Hey, Joe, don't tell me you'll be like Lawrence Taylor on Any Given Sunday. Don't you guys drop me?
Oh, no.
I'm worth $1 million.
You had to bring up that movie that exposed how little Al Pacino actually knew about football. There, tackle. It's like, come on, dude.
Oh man, yeah, that was a fun movie.
No, I love Oliver Stone. I love that movie.
Oh man. All right, so we're gonna see if we can get through the show here. We got a number of things here that we're gonna be talking about, but we're gonna try things a little bit different here this time around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with this.
Either get busy living or get busy dying. Or get busy playing rapid fire Q&A with Coach Ronnie Shields.
Woo! Morning
man. All right, so here we go. First, we're gonna do this with rapid fire. So here we go with the first one. A more iconic mullet, Billy Ray Cyrus or Andre Agassi?
Ooh. I would say Andre Agassi.
Oh. Until he went with the clean look, huh?
Yeah. Like that made him, one of the most recognizable faces in tennis. So that definitely had him be out there, and he was a very good tennis player, very very good tennis player at the time.
Yeah, he's a much better tennis player than Billy Ray Cyrus is a singer. That's for sure.
Oh man! All right, here we go with the next one. A more heartbreaking sports moment: Scott Norwood's wide right or the Blazers
Oh.
blowing it to the Bulls in 1992?
Oh, the Blazers blowing it to the Bulls in '92.
Oh gosh. You really had to feel for Clyde the Glide right there, didn't you?
Yeah. Clyde the Glide.
Oh man. Yeah,
Oh,
that,
Chihuahua. Yeah, he was a staple in Houston for a while, man.
Oh, for a long time.
Yep.
mhm. Sure was. But that was a really tough series for them against the Bulls, man. I mean,
But come on, though, is there any greater prize in sports than a Super Bowl trophy? Scott Norwood, wide right. I mean, come on,
Tampa,
that's your
Florida.
job,
Oh man.
dude. That's
Hey.
your job. You got one job, and it was a chip shot,
Oh.
Yeah.
and you blow it to Bill Parcells and Hostetler. It wasn't even Sims. It was Hostetler. You blew it to Hostetler. Guy with the 70 porn mustache. Come on.
Oh, like Ray Finkel? Or
Oh, you know that's where they came up with it.
yep.
Ray Finkel. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
Scott Norwood, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
man. Oh gosh. All right. Here's the next one. Bigger one-hit wonder. Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby or Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy for Everything.
Come on, Ronnie, be honest. They both sucked.
Frizz, I'm too sexy.
Oh,
You know, guys, when we're tying this into boxing, one of the most feared songs by Right Said Fred for the Klitschko brothers was Corey Sanders of South Africa. His intro song was Stand Up for the Champion from Right Said Fred. Yes. A bit of trivia there for you guys. And that song struck fear in the heart of Vladimir Klitschko. He doesn't ever want to be reminded of the late great Corey the Sniper Sanders. No.
yeah. Yeah, that was a real brutal fight for
Oh,
Chris right
dude.
there, man. Oh.
Now,
Yeah,
honestly, I can say this.
mhm.
He was an even bigger underdog than Resendez was this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, more
Yes,
than 24
I
to
said
1.
it.
Yeah. All right, here we go with this next one. Better TGIF sitcom dad, Carl Winslow or Danny Tanner?
Carl Winslow.
I
Yeah,
agree.
man.
I agree.
Was it whatever happened to predictability? No.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
man, yeah. Family Matters is one of my favorite shows there in the
Yeah.
You mean you didn't like Full House?
Oh, I did like Full House, yeah, definitely. But I just favorite Family Matters, a little bit more though.
Now, maybe we should have put Uncle Jesse in with the best, most iconic mullet.
Oh yeah, you
Full
could have. Yeah, that was a mullet.
Geez.
That definitely was a mullet. Oh man. No. All right, here we got more folks here just checking in. We got Adam here in the building.
Montequilla.
Ronnie and Boxing Source, good to see you there. And brother
you, Adam.
Alberto here in the building.
My brother in Christ, Alberto. Good to see you, my friend.
And brother Z Pacino is in the building. Salute to Joe, James, and Coach Ronnie.
Attica, Al Pacino. I'm known in all 5 boroughs. Forget about it.
All right, so that is a good little start here before we get into.
Hey, this show needed the cash cow back to introduce fact or fiction.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, you got to understand something. I'm the cash cow. I'm TBE. So, request me to do it once again. No.
woo, Floyd, where have you been? Can we just say, if Manny Pacquiao somehow pulls off the upset July 19th, we're going to see a long-awaited rematch with the Geezers fighting for the WBC title at 147. Can we say that, Coach Ronnie?
Oh, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Oh, jeez. Let's hope Mario Barrios can take care of business, because I don't want to see that.
Hmm.
You want to see that, Coach Ronnie?
No. Definitely not.
I might have something else, but we'll get into that here with that first part of Fact or Fiction. Here we go. If Manny Pacquiao doesn't get TKO'd, he'll be gifted a split decision victory over Mario Barrios on July 19th. Fact or fiction?
I hate to say it, but that's a fact.
Oh, jeez. Mauricio strikes again. Mauricio strikes again.
Let me tell you something. This fight cannot be close, man. Barrios gotta get in the best shape he can, and he just gotta overwhelm this guy, man. Because unfortunately, he's not gonna get anything close, and that's a fact.
Man, we could have who is it? Adelaide Bird as a judge. We could have
CJ Ross coming out of retirement.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, and then Patricia Morse Jarman is the third.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe Levi Martinez if she's not available.
Oh my God, Levi Martinez. Oh my God.
No. Like guys, this is a very possibility, and this is something for the rumor mill, maybe. Like Brandon Figueroa, why are they putting him on the card? Because you know who his sister is. Omaira has a child with Mario Barrios, and according to what I've heard, they're not doing too good, and there's a lot of drama there. Why are they putting him on the card? Because she's going to be right there with her brother Brandon. Come on now. Now, Ronnie, please tell the fans how much all of this outside of the ring drama affects your performance on fight night.
It affects it a lot, man. Because you're not thinking about the fight now. You're thinking about what's going to happen, what happened before, and what's going to happen afterwards. And during the fight, you should be thinking about what's in front of you. And that's very difficult, man, when you have family problems like that.
Man.
Yep. She's going to be at all the media events with Brandon because she's his strength and conditioning expert. Yep. So why are they doing this to Mario? Are they trying to get the red herring? Are they trying to put the fly in the ointment? Are they trying to put the monkey in the wrench? The pain in the ass? Is that what they're doing to Mario?
Man, I wonder if Mario did something to somebody.
Apparently he did something to Omaira.
And I was thinking that the biggest winners of this whole fight card would be the Figueroas, but now hearing this, I'm like, oh no.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Look, it's almost like they're dropping Mario in the grease, El Azteca.
Oh my gosh.
Throwing him under the bus.
Yeah. So Mario Barrios might be fighting
Big James.
Might be fighting more than two people there on July 19th there. But if any chance that Emmanuel Dapidran Pacquiao does get this win and becomes the WBC welterweight champion, I know you were bringing up Floyd Mayweather as an opponent.
Oh, geez.
But I may think that there might be somebody that is around the same height as Manny Pacquiao that could end up being his opponent next.
Gervonta Davis?
Gervonta Davis.
Oh, no. Jake Paul and then Manny? No way.
Oh, man, that would be the most craziest thing ever. But listen, we've seen some crazy things in boxing, so I'm telling you, that wouldn't surprise me a bit if that any chance.
Yeah, I'll say this. This, James, when you were saying that, you kind of sounded like Bill Cosby there, man. Didn't you, Ronnie?
Sure.
Jello pudding.
The Jello pudding pops. No,
oh, dude.
Oh, man.
That's terrible.
All right.
Oh, well, prayers for Mario. He's going to need him.
It's going to be something. All right. So we're going to continue on this event card.
Down through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives in boxing. Woo!
Oh, man. So we got more here on that fight card, including the co-featured bout. And we got the next here for Fact or Fiction, where he says Terrence Bud Crawford will be proven correct on July 19th when picking Seabass Fundora to win comfortably over Tim Tszyu in their highly anticipated rematch. Fact or Fiction?
I think that's a fact. I think Fundora, I think he's going to win. I really do. I think Tim Tszyu, his last couple of fights, man, it's been terrible. I mean, he won his last fight, but still, he's just been beat up.
Ronnie, who looks more tentative in the ring, Devin Haney or Tim Tszyu?
Tim Tszyu.
Oh, jeez. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth?
No, I mean, it's true. Yes, I don't know,
looks
man.
As nervous as a toothache, brother.
Well, the thing about it though is fighting the wrong fight. I don't know, man. But when he got hit with the elbow, and he did it himself, it wasn't Fundora. He ran into the elbow himself. And, and why they didn't stop that fight, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, as they say in South Texas, Coach, that'll learn you. That'll learn you.
I mean, that was crazy though, to try to continue, but with the blood going like that, man, that was in a very bad spot. Number one.
Yep.
And if you can't stop it, man, you can't stop the blood. I mean, come on, man, you got to look after your fighter.
Yeah.
What are these guys trying to prove? I can fight
know.
like that. I mean, it didn't make sense to me, and I know Tim has a manager. The manager should have ran to the corner and cussed him out and said, stop the fight. I mean, say I can't stop the blood because he was in a very bad spot. And it just didn't make sense for him to continue on.
Sounds to me like he needs a different team, Ronnie, but he fails to recognize it because look what they put him up against next.
Well, he's a loyal guy. And sometimes loyalty doesn't pay the bills.
Nope. Nope. Especially when it's inexperienced team. There's no reason. Like, he is a franchise in Australia.
Yes.
Now can you say he's damaged goods?
Well, he's not damaged goods over there because they're going to always look at him as being one of the top fighters in the world. But here, yeah, he is damaged goods.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
If he loses this fight, it's going to set him back a bunch. I mean, way back in the eyes of the boxing world. Not in Australia, but in the eyes of the boxing world. And it's going to be difficult for him to get a fight. Because, people just won't probably go to Australia to fight him because you probably won't get no TV if he loses this fight. His whole career is on the line right now.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Tim. All I have to say, best of luck, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I still don't understand how that fight last March, like it's almost like they didn't even pause the fight, once to have the doctors look at him.
No, they didn't. They just let it go.
They just let it go. I was like, wow. Compare that to what happened over in San Diego, California, there with Emmanuel Navarrete and Charlie Suarez. And, we had that recent decision there for it to, end up being a no contest and they'll have the rematch. But still, you had all of that.
It should have been the same thing.
Yeah.
And they definitely didn't have the late, great Joe Souza in their corner.
That's right.
One of the greatest men to have ever done it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man.
Just ask James Leha.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh, my God. Ronnie, how bad was James's face against Azuma Nelson when he won that title?
Yeah, it was. Ooh, James was cut up bad, man.
Mhm.
And Joe Souza, man, he worked his miracle.
Yep. To this day, James attributes both you and Joe Souza for winning that title. I love
Yeah, man. July 19th with this rematch, we might see another bloodbath. And as you said there, Coach, Tim Tszyu cannot afford another loss. Actually, that would be 3 losses in his last 4 fights if he comes up short here in this rematch against Sebastian Fundora. And you could, pretty much say that he's a non-factor, of course, in the top part of the 154-pound division. But yeah, like, it would be really tough for him to get a fight, not just here, but even in Australia if he does lose to Fundora on
Oh,
19th.
that's a fact.
Yep. So,
it.
and all right, so here we go.
Tim.
Yo, go ahead, Joe.
I said, best of luck, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully you don't get caught with the people's elbow again. I'll just say that.
People's elbow. Go, dude.
All right, here we go with the next one here for Fact or Fiction. Stephen Fulton picked on the wrong guy and will get stopped on August 16th by Oshaki Foster. Fact or fiction?
Man, this could be a fact. Stephen is, he's a good fighter. I mean, he really is. But he's not that big,
Nope.
And Oshaki can really fight, And Oshaki is the champion, of course. So, but, Fulton is lucky to be getting a shot. He's really lucky to be getting a shot. But I just think he bit off more than he can chew with Oshaki Foster.
It'll be the second fighter to come up from 126 as a world champion to attempt to go up against Oshaki, and we could end up falling short here, just like what happened with Vargas. So I mean, it's going to be a pretty interesting fight for the first few rounds. But with Fulton, I mean, he's coming up. He had his time there 122, now 126, and after what is it? Just one fight here against Figueroa. Now he's going up here to attempt to be a world champion at 130. So
that's a lot of weight to be moving up to.
Yeah, it's really quick for him to do it. I don't know if he says, "Hey, maybe I can't necessarily." It's tough for him to get down to 126 or whatever. But hey, that's going to be something right there if he would be able to pull it off. But it's going to be real tough for him, man, to pull that off against Oshaki Foster.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Shout out to those in the chat, man. Talk Trans in the building says, hey, if Fulton could take power at 130 pounds, then he could win.
That's a big if, Ronnie.
That's definitely a big if.
Yeah.
Because Oshaki punches a lot harder than Inoue.
Yeah. Z Pacino says, speaking of ifs, he says, if Tim could learn to take his head off the line, he should win. Yeah, good luck with Tim doing that.
Ronnie, is that possible to learn that in one camp?
He can learn it because he's been in the boxing his whole life. But the problem is his style of fighting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. His style of fighting keep him on the line.
Yep.
And it is hard to teach a guy that's so used to doing it one way. And Tim fights the same way every fight. He was successful up until he fought Fundora. And then everything went downhill. And normally, once it starts going downhill, there's no climbing back.
Oh, boy.
He's not going to change. What is he going to change?
Right.
Yeah. Tell you what, you can safely say he was doing pretty well until he wasn't. Yeah,
that's putting it mildly.
Oh, boy.
And then he had that fight against Murtazaliev, and I'm like, oh
boy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Boy, that was a terrible decision by his team.
Word.
So Murtazaliev, do you see him moving up to 60 and taking on Yoenli, Feliciano, Hernandez?
No. Definitely not.
Boy, he looked great.
Oh, man.
That
Yeah,
kid,
we
that
got.
kid can really fight, man. He's really good. You know, he's helped me with, sparring with David Morrell a lot,
Mhm.
and he's such a good fighter, man. He's definitely going to be champion in 160.
Oh man. Hey, we might have something here on Yuenli Hernandez here in a bit. But we got
Woo!
more from the chat. Shout out to Gorgio here in the building. He says that Tim should have fought Keith Thurman in Australia instead. And he said, by the way, I think Thurman would beat Tim Tszyu if they did fight.
That's a strong possibility.
Once upon a time, Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith, once upon a time, Thurman.
Once upon a time.
Man. All right. So let's see here. All right. We got another one here for Fact or Fiction, and then we're going to switch things up here a little bit. So here we go with the next one. After today, Hall of Fame badass Coach Ronnie Shields doesn't want to hear anything more about Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. Fact or fiction?
That's a fact.
All right.
I saw Tio in Vegas last week, and had a long talk with him. Had a long talk, and he's really a really nice guy, man. He really is.
Yep.
He just wants to fight. But sometimes your mouth get fights taken away from you.
Yep.
And I think that's his only problem that he has. He could back it up. But the problem is the people that's over everything, they don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to hear what you have to say. And that's his problem.
Yep.
And sometimes you just gotta, when you get these fights, just button it up. Talk about the fight and let everything else go. Don't talk about nothing else but to build the fight up. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But
So you think his manager right now is telling him, hey, he's pulling a Jerry Maguire, hey brother, help me, help you. Shut up.
sure.
Help me, help you. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Damn.
Isn't that Keith Connolly?
Keith Connolly, that's it.
Oh man.
He's like, dude, what are you doing?
Hey,
Quit shooting yourself in
you
the
got-
foot.
You got one character in Lopez, and you got another character there in Edgar Berlanga. So we definitely have
geez.
some.
Oh, geez.
Oh goodness. Hey, Coach Ronnie, you're a better man than me. I would not have been able to talk to that kid. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
No. Teofimo's actually a good kid. He's just been
No, he is, man.
Yeah.
He's just been
like I
misguided
said,
and misled from people in his immediate circle.
he came up to me, and we just started talking, man. And like I say, he seemed like a really good kid, man. I was like my second or third time being around him. Every time I've been around him, he was very cordial. So I can't say anything bad about that.
And shockingly enough, Coach, every time I've spoken with Teofimo as well, he seems really humble and respectful. It's like,
yes.
What happens when he gets in front of a mic and in front of a camera? It's almost like his evil alter ego takes over.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can oversell,
Oh, man, especially with some of the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. It's like, wait a minute. It almost reminds you of Rolly Romero. When you talk to Rolly outside of the camera and outside of the press, he's such a good, humble, respectful guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, why aren't we seeing this guy in front of the camera?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Teofimo reminds me of.
Yeah, I can say that.
Yep.
Yep. Rolling the same way.
Yep.
And
Rolly? You're talking about Rolly, the new regular welterweight champ in the WBA?
WBA.
Oh, yeah.
Multi-divisional champion.
Now he's calling out Manny Pacquaio. Say it ain't so, brother.
Oh man. Oh, that's something, man. Rolly though. Oh my goodness.
I tell you what, though, I like Rolling, man.
Yeah.
I do. I really like Rolling.
He's a good kid, man.
Yes,
And
he
he's
really is.
yeah, he like people would freak out if they knew how he was off camera.
Yep.
He is a good, humble, respectful kid.
Yes, he is.
And he's very hard not to like.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You can really talk to Volley.
Yep.
You really can.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. His parents did a good job.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
that's what's up, man. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a interview with Rolly Romero sometime, and maybe he'll be able to give me both sides of Rolly Romero.
Oh, I know. As soon as
kid, and then
on, man,
as long as I don't bring up Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford, I should be fine.
Yeah, and don't bring up Coach Bullet either.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Oh man! Shout out to Denise Woods here checking in the building, and my guy L Dub Boxing there, and he says Keith Connolly should fire Teofimo like Turkey did.
Oh boy!
Gorjo says Teo is out here talking about Egyptian pyramids during post-fight interviews. He says that he doesn't get big fights, then turns down the Haney fight. Is
look. To his defense, living in fantasy land as well, guys. In what universe is Devin Haney the A side against anyone? Like, unless you're talking about Sandor Martin, is he the A side really against Teofimo Lopez? No,
he would have been the A side of Sandor Martin, but he didn't accept what $1.3 million.
That's what I mean. Look, and Bill and Devin Haney, they for some reason they think he's a rock star. In what universe, guys? So instead of hanging this on Teofimo Lopez, understand that the Haneys are not a treat to negotiate with. Far from it. Ronnie, do I need to say anything more than that?
No.
Oh man,
I love Z Pacino's last comment.
I'll get that here. Shout out to my guy True Clinton. He talks about Rolly there. He says, he's smarter than people would think from random interviews too. And yep, Z Pacino says off topic, but I hope Justin Paldo is the first guy to stop Juan Carlos Burgos this weekend. Oh yeah, yep.
Woo!
No doubt.
Right.
Yeah, and I've got a gig at Brandy's Ice House the following evening in the San Antonio area. So if you're there, if you're in San Antonio, go see the fights. Support Coach Ronnie this Saturday, and then come and hear me sing 3 sets worth of material on Sunday evening at Brandy's Ice House on Grissom Road. There it is. Woo!
All right, there we go. All right. So now here's the next thing that we got here for Coach Ronnie Shields. This is a brand new segment here that we brought up. Kind of gives a little bit of nostalgia there, as we used to have those late night talk shows and things. Well, I mean, they still have late night talk shows, but they're nowhere near what we had back in the day.
Nothing like the way David Letterman used to be. Nope.
Not like David Letterman there. And so we have one of those segments that David Letterman's show was known for, and that is the
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Coach Ronnie's Top 10. Bing!
Well, thank you right there. Bang.
Even in the tri-state area. Yes.
All right, so here we go. We're going to have you, Coach Ronnie, read the top 10. They're going from 10 to 1 here. And for this one, we got the top 10 fights of the last 30 years. So we got 10 fights here, and you're going to read them. And, hey, you're going to go from 10 to 1. And if there's anything you agree with or disagree with, we'll be able to get into that. All right? So you ready, Coach? Yep. All right, here we go. Number 10. You go ahead and read that one.
Mexican boxing at its best, absolute finals, high pace, high skill. Evan Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrero.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a great fight.
Yep.
Absolutely. I agree with that one.
And you know what? Before that fight, Coach, was it ever a possibility for featherweights to be in the main event on a major pay-per-view?
Not at all. They was too small.
Mhm. They
They
started
were.
it all. They paved the
They
way
did.
for
They
Manny
did.
Pacquiao.
They paved the way.
Pacquiao
They
or
did.
like Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez or
Yep.
Nayo Inoue. Yep, pretty much like started with
Before
these.
that fight, though, it was unheard of for
Yep.
featherweights to headline a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
So
Both.
that fight was very, very important for the future of boxing.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you know what? Both guys, they were highly skilled fighters at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They fought in their prime. They didn't wait till they was getting 90 years old before they got in the ring with each other. You know.
They didn't wait till they were 90, coach.
That's right.
Oh man,
I love
goodness.
90 in boxing is like 35 years old.
Well, look, if that's number 10, then I can't wait to see what the rest of them are. That's
Me
amazing.
too.
All right, here we go. Number 9, Coach.
Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. Controversial but huge. 2 prime legends classic. Yes, indeed. That was a great fight too. And yeah, it was controversial, but you got to remember Don King was part of it.
Wait a minute, coach. You mean you're not very fond of the Don?
I plead the fifth.
Wait a minute. Wasn't he your promoter back in the day?
I plead the fifth.
Now, look, guys, what made this fight so monumental is that Lou DiBella, when he was the president of HBO Sports, said, Bob, I know you can't stand Don, but you guys have to work together because we want this fight. And he made it happen.
Hey.
2 studs undefeated in their prime with 2 rival promoters, and he made it happen. Coach,
Yes.
paving the way for what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we can't get this today. And it's a shame. It's a shame we can't get it. And I don't know. Hopefully one day that these guys, they buckle up and say, you know what? We got to get the fans what they want. Otherwise, we're going to kill the sport of boxing. So we got to let the best fight the best. Let's
And
do
what's
this.
sad, coach, is that Devin Haney was asking, from what I've been told, was asking for more money against Teofimo Lopez than what Felix Trinidad made for this fight.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
That's why, guys. So before you say, oh, Teofimo ducked Devin Haney, that's the real reason why this fight is not taking place.
That's crazy.
Almost goes to something I said, what was it, last year about both of those guys. I knew it was like both of them would probably ask for so much money that it probably wouldn't happen. All right, here we go. Number 8.
Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. Changing of the guard. Massive fight, massive heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a great fight.
Over 80,000 fans in Wembley, coach. And
Yep.
it almost revived. It seemed to revive the heavyweight division, didn't it?
It did revive the heavyweight division. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because Klitschko, he was on top of the world at that time. And, Joshua, he was on the rise. And that was great, man. I mean, it was a great fight. Both guys was in great shape. And it was a really, really good fight. And people got to see a great fight, man. And that's what you want to see. And normally the heavyweight division is what makes everything else glow in the sport of boxing. And at that time, in 2017, that fight right there, it really picked boxing. Boxing was in a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Yeah. I guess it was, in the downturn there from 2015, and Klitschko, he was getting back in the mix. He wanted that rematch with Tyson Fury, couldn't quite get it. Anthony Joshua was an up and coming heavyweight. He only had 15 or 16 fights or so.
Yep.
And they
Absolutely.
said, you know what? let's just go ahead and see if we could do this and see if Joshua is ready. And you had the
Say what
first
you
few
want.
rounds.
Say what you want, guys. Say what you want about Anthony Joshua being ruined after Andy Ruiz. I concur. Like, I dispute that. He
Me
was
too.
never the same after being beat up by Vladimir Klitschko. Even though he won that fight by TKO, he was never the same after that. He wasn't as fearless as he was before that Klitschko fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a little glove shy afterwards, but it happens, especially with heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
He's never been hit that hard before, probably. So,
Dr. Steelhammer.
oh yeah,
One of the highest knockout ratios there in the heavyweight division. And
absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, Anthony Joshua was just lucky it wasn't his brother, Dr. Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Vitali. He wouldn't have won that fight. I can say that with great certainty. Just ask Lennox Lewis and a man.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So here we go. We're gonna go with number 7.
Floyd Mayweather versus Diego Corrales, a young Floyd masterpiece. Technical brilliance meets raw power. Absolutely. Absolutely. Floyd was just too slick for Diego.
Man.
How many times did he knock him down, Coach?
Oh, I can't even count.
Like 7 or 8?
Like
something like that.
Or something.
Yeah.
But,
Floyd was just too smart for Diego. That's all that was.
At 130 pounds, how many fighters could contend with Floyd Mayweather at 130?
At 130, none. I don't think it could anybody.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not even Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. at 130?
Not at all. He couldn't touch Floyd. He wouldn't have touched Floyd Mayweather at 130 pounds. If Floyd would have fought
way too fast.
Let me tell you something. If Floyd would have fought his whole career at 130 pounds, he would have been pound for pound the best fighter in the world ever. But
I agree with that.
He didn't. So
I agree with that wholeheartedly. You couldn't touch Floyd and he would whoop your ass.
Absolutely. 130 pounds. He was fast. He was slick. I mean, he was just, he was poetry in motion.
And he wore Cleto Reyes gloves.
Yes. And he wasn't a puncher. He wasn't a puncher.
Nope. Sure wasn't. Man, that particular fight was built as one of those fights to really see both undefeated. Diego Corrales having a very good record, series of knockouts too.
He did. Yeah, absolutely.
Floyd Mayweather there, and that was going to be like the first. Well, some people thought that would be that first test there for Floyd Mayweather in 2001, and then he just showed up and goodness, man. It was a beatdown, an absolute beatdown there.
And Diego Corrales, most people don't know this. Our brother James Gogi was the architect of his skill set in the amateurs. Yes, sir. Our brother James Gogi.
Shout out to James Gogi, man. Shout out to James Gogi. All right, here we go with number 6.
Israel Vasquez versus Rafael Marquez, 2008. Brutal, bloody trilogy battle. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Woo!
Yeah,
that's what my brother Thomas Driver.
I think these guys should get paid from Rockin' Sock'em Robots.
Oh. Can you say though, Coach, it ruined both fighters?
Oh, without a doubt. Too much punishment, man. They took too much punishment. I mean,
do you think, Coach, that's why we're seeing guys like Devin Haney afraid to get hit today? Because they see guys like Rafa and Izzy.
Oh man!
And just think, these guys aren't getting a 10% of what these guys was making.
Oh,
we're
man.
Like
2%. Hey, Joe. Not sure if you remember this game on Super Nintendo. Of course, you had Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and then on Super Nintendo, you had Super Punch Out, right?
I used to love that. Yep.
They had that fighter on there named Narcissus Prince.
Yep.
Do you think Devin Haney is like Narcissus Prince?
There it is. There it is. Dude, how did you recall that, man? I haven't thought about that in decades, man.
Oh no, man. Well, there's ways that I still play Super Punch Out, so I would know about all those characters. All right,
Oh, man.
here we go with number 5.
Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Passing of the torch. High level chess with stakes. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, look. I think the significance of that fight was it brought us out of COVID.
Yeah, it did.
Like everything just became a standstill. And this really seemed to capture the imagination of everyone in the American market. And it really brought boxing back out of COVID because you remember when everything shut down, Ronnie?
Oh, yeah.
And there was no boxing on the schedule at all?
Nothing.
And it did the highest ratings of any fight on ESPN.
Yep. Because people couldn't go nowhere. People had to stay there. They had to watch something.
Yeah. Man, I remember that day the day before, like everything kind of shut down, like around March 12th of 2020.
Yeah.
Being up in New York, Shakur Stevenson was going to be fighting in New York. And then, I go back, I come back over to, the DC area. And then the next day, it's like everything just shut down. They cancel it. And it's like, now we don't have, boxing, you don't have sports and nothing. And I'm like, wow. And, fast forward to now, it's like, geez, we went through, what was that, about 6 months of that or something like that. It was a crazy experience for sure. But this particular fight right here, I remember it the most only because I put down money on the decision for Teofimo Lopez at 11-1. So,
wow.
Wow. I'll tell you what, credit to your former fighter, Adam Montequilla Lopez, when everyone was picking Lomachenko by way of experience. He picked the upset, Teofimo for the upset, and he was right.
He was right.
Oh, man. All right. Here we go. Number 4.
Juan Manuel Marquez versus Manny Pacquiao, 2012, an epic rivalry, and that KO shot will live forever. Oh, forever.
Oh,
absolutely.
I can still hear Roy Jones going, oh.
Oh, he's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up, Jim.
Yeah, that was crazy how that happened, too. Man, he ran right into that, though. Wow.
He did. But the thing about it was Marquez caught him with that shot beforehand. And he still fell for it again.
He did.
Well, look. The acne-backed Juan Manuel Marquez looking like the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. Now look. Once again, that's Pacquiao's team's fault. They insisted on no drug testing. And Marquez said, okay, I can do that.
Say no more.
So what happened? What teamed with Memo Heredia? What happened?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Well, but that's because they both was taking drugs. So.
Yep.
you don't want to do drug testing if you know you're taking drugs.
Mm-hmm. Freaking Mexican Incredible Hulk. Have you ever seen Marquez look that big? Ever?
Oh, no. You saw his leg in that fight? Oh, my God.
Dude, he looked about as big as Canelo Alvarez on that day.
He did. And, man, when he threw that punch.
He looked like Barry Bonds.
Yeah. He did.
And wasn't it in front of like one of the judges that Manny Pacquiao got knocked out in front of? I don't know. He was like face first. Oh my God.
Tell you what, I still hear the call of Roy Jones though, man. Oh,
one of the most memorable moments in boxing history there with that one. And two Hall of Famers. They're 2 Hall of Famers. All right, here we go. Number 3.
Tyson Fury. Excuse me. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. Drama, knockdowns, redemption, heavyweight action at its best. Yes.
Now, honestly, Coach, when you're talking about heavyweight fights, you have to go back to the 90s to even come close to that kind of action.
Oh, no doubt.
And honestly, I can say this. I think that fight ruined both fighters.
It did. Absolutely did. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, both of those guys, they, of course, what happened there in the first fight with Tyson Fury and getting knocked down twice, and then the
Right.
second fight with Deontay Wilder getting beat up. But in this third fight, like, you have
It
both
was brutal.
beat up, knocked down, all that type
Yeah.
of stuff. And it for me with Deontay Wilder, it was, you had those knockdowns that were more emphatic than the knockdowns that he scored on Fury in that fight.
Yeah.
But in the 10th round, you could still see that he was not giving up. He was still trying. He was still swinging.
Oh, no doubt.
He would not, he would not stop until like that last knockdown was just it. Like, you knew at that time. Yeah, it was almost like the thing there with Rocky and Ivan Drago.
Look, I will say this. It's been a very long time since I've genuinely felt like a fan watching a fight. And that fight, I was jumping up and down in my seat.
Yeah.
I felt like a fan again.
Yeah.
And that was something special. In the immortal words of John Madden, that fight was something special.
Pat, I like both of those fights. But yeah, I understand that completely,
thanks, John.
I understand that completely, Joe, because watching that fight live and seeing both those guys, and some folks that follow me know about my story, that they claim that I'm the biggest Deontay Wilder hater on the planet.
No, that's your brother Matthew from Brunch Boxing. Yeah.
Yeah. But that particular fight there, you saw the heart of Deontay Wilder in that. Like, he did not give up for anything. Like, he would try until he couldn't move to see if he would be able to defeat Tyson Fury there on that.
And I tell you what, the fans won that night. That was an amazing throwdown.
Definitely did.
Absolutely.
Ruined both fighters. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Something tells me that's leading into 2-1 as well.
All right. Here we go. Number 2.
Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. The 10th round comeback. One of the gutsiest wins ever. Man, let me tell you something. If this fight was today, in today's market, right? Diego Corrales loses by TKO.
You know what? You're absolutely right. That referee
They stopped that fight.
Yep.
Today they would have stopped that fight.
So, Coach, what are you saying?
But let me tell you something.
Saying that referees need to start being more liberal again?
No. I'm not saying that. But here's what I am saying: is that this referee took the time to look at both of these guys' fights. You had to see that he knew both guys. He knew what they was capable of.
Ooh.
He knew both guys didn't have great defense. He knew that, but he also knew that both guys can take a really good punch.
Tony Leaks in his prime.
Yes, and he was fair to both guys. He was very fair to both guys. He didn't show leniency toward any guy. He let these guys fight, and he did that. And I told Tony Weeks whenever I saw him that after that fight, man, you did a great job. You did what you're supposed to do. Let these guys fight. And he he told me himself, I knew both guys really well. That's why I didn't stop this fight. And, and you got to commend him for doing that. Now, by today's standard, people would say, oh, that's very barbaric. They should stop this fight, but that's in today's market. That's what we will get today. But, Tony did a great job back then. He really did. And, and the fans owe that to Tony Weeks for having a great fight like that.
Ooh, that round 10 is time capsule. Coach.
But it goes back to Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward.
Something tells me that's number one.
But yeah, I mean that was just like I said, that one was a classic of all classics there. And like you said there, if it wasn't for Tony Weeks to
Mandalay
have
Bay.
that type of wherewithal of both of those fighters, and given how much was on the line in that fight, was that that was like the unification bout and all that.
Yeah.
And it was so much on the line. So
yes, and he let him go, man. He let him go.
Yeah. That's kind of like how I feel about that first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Like, you got to be able to say, "Hey."
No, that's true. Absolutely.
Like, guys, and when you go back and watch that 10th round, look in the crowd ringside. You see James Toney and Winky Wright just acting like fans, and also Chavez Sr. and Jr. acting like fans. Guys, it was breathtaking, and it was something that we'll be watching 30, 40 years from now.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
No question. And speaking of a fight that we'll be watching 30 or 40 years from now, especially if we had ESPN Classics still existing, we are number one.
That is Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. 2002, Pure Heart, round 9 in boxing portrait. Man. Absolutely. And, I have a photo of Arturo in my gym. I like to train Arturo. So, and this kid, man, he was unbelievable, man. Inside the ring, but outside the ring, he was a better person outside the ring than probably most people you ever meet in your life. That was Arturo Thunder Gatti.
Yep.
This kid, man, he was unbelievable as a fighter and unbelievable as a human being. He was just a very hard worker in the gym, and outside of the gym, he probably was a gentleman that every parent would want their kid to be like.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Coach.
That's who he was. That's who
God
he
rest
was.
his soul.
Yes,
Say what, Arturo Gatti, where have you gone?
Yep.
Oh, I tell you what. And fun fact, guys, even with the Italian descent, most people don't know because he was such a big commodity and attraction in New Jersey.
Yep.
He was from Canada.
Yep. Canada. Absolutely. He's from Canada. Absolutely.
Oh, I tell you what, all heart, man, all balls.
Oh my God.
When Jim actually started crying, and Emmanuel told me calling that fight, he said he couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Oh my God. And,
Emmanuel would talk about this fight every time we talked about boxing.
Oh yeah. And
and he would let everyone know, Coach. Hey, do you know I called that fight, right? And I'm like, yes, Emmanuel, we remember.
But the thing about it too is you got to pay homage to the referee. You got to pay
Frank Cappuccino.
Frank Cappuccino, he did that one, yep. And in today's standards, that fight would have been over early.
And if you go back and watch that 9th round, Jim Lampley ringside is saying, Frank, you can stop at any time you want.
Yep.
And he didn't.
He didn't. He let it go. And because he knew both guys. You could see the referees that studied the fighters. They did their homework on these fighters. They knew what they could take and what they couldn't take. And man, we got 3 epic fights out of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God. 3 epic fights. And these guys are going to go down. These 3 fights are going to go down as the best in history in boxing. I tell you.
I love it.
Man. I don't know. That might be something. I don't know if we'll be able to come up with 10, but trilogies in boxing, like, I'll look up, those trilogies in boxing and, see if we could like rank those or whatever it was, because we've had a good number of them, in the sport, and they've been really, really good too. And this one, Vasquez, and
Nobody's gonna.
but they have more than 3, but still,
Yeah.
of
But
course, we
nobody's-
talk about
nobody's
Wilder.
gonna
No one
do
counts
that.
the fourth one. No one
Yeah.
counts the fourth one between
No.
Izzy and Marquez.
Yeah,
Come on,
right,
Rafa.
yeah. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Dude, that
Oh,
was
man,
just
that's good.
that was
man.
just sadistic to even book that fight. Come on now. And I was there
Oh.
live, and I'm like, oh, come on, guys. This is
Oh.
unnecessary.
Oh man.
God rest his
quick-
soul, Izzy Vasquez.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, great,
Man,
great.
That
fighter, man.
hey, that was a great first top 10, Ronnie. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That was great. That was good. I like that.
All right. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Lance Meyer here in the building. Shout out to James Coach Joseph in the chat. Yeah, man. And the topic here in the building says, don't put AJ in with any big punches. Well, we might see him
Too late for that.
Yeah, we might see him against one here pretty soon. So be on the lookout for
Too late for that.
Spades are spades. Give salute there to Ronnie Shields. It says one of the greatest boxing minds out there, man.
Here, here.
With the fun fact, Marquez's son was just one of Devin Haney's sparring partners there.
Did he run away in the gym from that too? Check out.
Yeah, you
Bo Holyfield trilogy.
there. Bo versus Holyfield. Yep,
That was a good one.
Oh my gosh, man! Especially that first fight. We don't want to bring up that first fight, though, do we, Ronnie?
No.
Man. Well, you know that was a great era in boxing there, and
I'm sorry, guys. Outside of the golden era of heavyweights in the 70s, the 90s were not far behind, Coach.
Oh no, the 90s was that was there was a lot of competition in the 90s. Absolutely.
Sure
A lot of wars.
So with that being said, we'll see if we can do another top 10. Speaking of those top 10 heavyweight fighters of the 90s here. So let's go over that here real quick. Here we go with number 10.
David Tua. The Tua man was feared for his left hook. A wrecking ball in the ring. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you something, man. Every day at the gym, we worked on that left hook. Every single day. You know, he knew he had it, and so we practice it every day.
Coach, how many times did you have to ice down your hand after working mitts with Tua?
The only guy that I've had to ice down my whole arm.
Oh,
yep.
Man.
There it is. There it is.
Yes.
Ooh, goodness, man. Yeah, the Tua man. Definitely.
Man.
Real tough fighter there in the 90s. All right. And with that being said, here's number 9.
Ika Biabuchi. Short career, but it's one of day to an undefeated record. Still echo with what if. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Man.
And you know what? Guess what, man? About maybe 7-8 months ago on my Instagram, I got a message from Ika Biabuchi.
Wow, the president.
Saying when I want to come train with you.
And you say just lock up the girls.
He did say that he was trying to come back and have a fight.
He did. He wants to do it.
So in the immortal words of Bill Clinton, you said, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Ike is too old now.
And look. That kind of crazy coach, you can't fix, can you?
Oh, no. That's a one of a kind. No. Wouldn't even try.
Yeah, he was a like almost Edwin Valero type crazy, like scary crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all we're gonna say about that, though, guys.
Oh man. Hey, if what is it? If Oliver McCall could come back to the ring, I guess.
Oh my God.
No. Look, Ibiabuchi makes Oliver McCall look like Mr. Rogers, Coach. And that's not an exaggeration, is it?
No.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, here we go. Number 8.
Ray Muscle, tough as nails. His walls with Lennox and Morrison showed his grit. Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I've been knowing Ray a long time.
Former gold medalist.
Yep. And let me tell you something, Ray was a good fighter. And he'll fight anybody. Didn't matter who it was. Just, just showing the ring. And he was going. It didn't matter who you put in there. Ray Mercer was there.
Can you say, Coach, that knockout ruined Tommy Morrison?
Oh, without a doubt.
Ooh.
Without a doubt. Man, that was a
Can you
scary
think of
knockout.
Hey, you
at
talking about
Can you think of a more brutal knockout at heavyweight?
No.
Mm.
No.
He looked like a bobblehead, Coach.
He did.
Man.
did.
We talked about the referees for those classic fights before, but this referee here, I don't know if he liked Tommy Morrison or not, because he's crazy. Oh man.
Yeah.
That was ugly, Coach. That was ugly. That was a career ender right there.
That was terrible.
Set Morrison to the 10th row with that punch. Oh my God.
So let's ask Coach Ronnie what he really thinks. Who really won that fight, Coach? Ray Mercer or Lennox Lewis?
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
Come on, you can say it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fight for people to watch right there.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch that.
Coach's response says it all.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, speaking of that war, here we go with number 7.
Tommy Morrison, flawed by ferocious big wins over Foreman and Razor Ruddock. Oh man, yeah, his career was flawed by that.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Come on, Foreman was old. Ruddock was old too. So, yeah,
Now, I'm going to say this, Coach. I'm going to say this. If it weren't for Rocky V, would Tommy Morrison be on this list?
No, not at all.
There it is. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No.
Woo!
Oh man.
That says it all. Moving on.
All right, here we go. Number 6.
Michael Moore, South Park technician, beat Holyfield, had the belt, get killed by Foreman. Yeah, man, that I don't know.
You wouldn't put him on this list either, would you, Coach?
No, I wouldn't. Absolutely.
Oh.
But listen, let me tell you something. I knew Michael Moore very well.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be in the gym with us all the time. But when he fought Foreman, man, he just, I don't know. He started off well, but then all of a sudden, I don't know, it's just like he quit. And Teddy Atlas was about to have a heart attack in the corner. And then all of a sudden, he stood right in front of him, man.
Yeah.
George just threw that punch and bam. I mean, it was over.
Through that tree trunk of a right hand.
Yeah, buddy.
Coach, let me ask you. Did Emmanuel Stewart ever tell you, and I know he did, about how Michael Moore broke his heart? And we're not going to get into it, but did he ever tell you?
He did.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So on that note, let's axe Michael Moore from this list, please. Yes. He broke Emmanuel's heart, man.
Yeah. Here we go. All right, then. With that being said, number 5.
George Foreman became the oldest heavyweight champion in history in '94. Legendary comeback. Yes, it was, man. And I remember being in the gym with George. And, man, George was, the way he hit them bags, man, I was like, wow, unbelievable. But when he came back, I never thought George had a chance.
No one did, Coach.
I thought he was too slow, especially when he fought Holyfield. I was in Holyfield's corner, and when he fought Evander, I really didn't want to see that because I really thought Evander would just go beat him up. But Evander won, but it wasn't a lopsided fight, because George was just big, man, and strong, and he could just throw you around, and he did that. But when he fought Michael Moore, I said, oh, man, Mike is a southpaw. Michael can punch. I really didn't want to see it. And I was just thinking what round Michael was going to knock him out in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, man, George he just turned it on because Michael stood right in front of him. I couldn't
Yep.
believe that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe Michael was standing right in front of him. And I'm like, man, dude, you the younger guy. You got the better legs. Just step around the guy. Just get away. Just, hit him and get out of the way.
Yeah.
And he just stayed there, man. And I was
Yep.
like, and he almost gave Teddy Ellis a heart attack in the corner
Yeah.
Man.
until he got knocked out. Then Teddy had a heart attack.
Yeah, definitely
Oh
did.
boy.
Man. Like, I mean, we mentioned it when we, went over the, memories there of George Foreman, rest in power, and me seeing that live at 13 years old, and like you said, Michael Moore was just standing right there in front of him, and then you just see George Foreman just throw a 1-2, and then another 1-2, and then you see Moore go down to the canvas. So I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
George
man.
won the heavyweight. I was like, wow, but like Jim Lampley was saying, he done it.
It happened. It happened.
It really happened. I was like,
It's amazing. It's amazing. The first time Emmanuel introduced me to Jim, I freaked out that Jim, he can't turn it off.
No.
Like he's still that same guy when he's off camera.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's too ingrained in his personality. He talks exactly like Jim on the air. The legend of Jim Lampley. I tell you what, one of the greatest calls ever in the history of our sport. It happened.
Yeah,
It happened.
He's a commentator now.
Yep, he's back there with those Ring Magazine events. I did see him. What was it over by Take versus Lamar Roach Fight Week in New York City? But he's back in the mix there with that Ring Magazine fight. So we'll see if we'll see him again there on July 12th over there in Queens, New York. All right. Speaking of New York, here we go at number 4.
Mike Tyson. Though his best years were in the late 80s, Tyson still remained a terrifying force and a major draw. Oh, without a doubt.
A terrifying force for anyone who interviewed him at that time. Isn't that right, Greta?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But let me tell you something, man. Mike Tyson. Mike has been one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And when I told people that, and still tell people that today, they look at me like I'm crazy. You have to know the man in order to see what kind of person he really is. Mike is he's a soft-spoken kind of guy, and he had to play the part being the fighter that he was, and man, but I spent so much time with this guy watching videos from the early days. That's how far back he went to look at and study things from way back then. And man, it was amazing. And then just talking to him about life and he spoke to me about everything, man, about his ups and his downs. And he was just, he was an unbelievable person. And I understand why he attracted so many boxing fans, because he knew how to turn it on and he knew how to turn it off. That was Mike Tyson.
That says it all. You know what? That was really profound, Coach. That was beautiful, man.
Thank you, Coach Ronnie. Thank you. I mean, I just didn't expect this other stuff from you, Coach. I love spending time with you and all the stuff that we did there in the ring and in the gym. No,
dude.
But yeah,
Hawaii of all places, Qingdao.
Yeah, he's a very nice person there. But like you said though, inside the ring or anyone interviewing them, you don't want to tick them off or anything like that. Because when he said like the baddest man on the planet, it didn't matter if he was 20, 30, 40, or 50 years old. You still didn't want to try him.
Nope.
Oh man.
Poor Greta. Oh geez.
That was bad.
Go back and watch that interview, folks, with Greta Van Susteren. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that one.
And after that infamous press conference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lennox told Emmanuel, you know what? I think he wanted to bite my wheelie.
Oh my God.
Man. All right. Here we go here with number 3.
Lennox Lewis came into his prime in the mid to late 90s, dominated with size, skill, and discipline. Yes, indeed. Lennox Lewis, man, let me tell you something. Lennox, I had David Tua to fight him, of course, and then Mike Tyson. And came on the shut in of both times. Lennox was just unbelievable. How big he was and strong and very athletic, but the nicest guy in the world, a little short story, right? After he quit boxing, right? After he quit, I got a call from a good friend of mine he was one of Lennox's lawyers named Josh Dubin. Josh is from New York.
Josh Dubin. Yep.
Yes. So, and Josh does a lot of stuff with Jay Prince right now. But Josh and I are good friends. We go way back. So Lennox decided, they call me up. Lennox and Josh call me up. I'm on the phone with both of them. Lennox said, man, I want to make a comeback, Ronnie, and I want you to work with me. I said, okay, Lennox, no problem, man. He said, but give me about a week or so to let me just really think about it to make sure this is what I want to do. I said, man, take your time, no problem. Just, whenever you think you're ready, just, call me, let me know. Okay. About a week went by, and Lennox and Josh called me back. Lennox said, Ronnie, I tried to go out and run. He said, I couldn't run a half a block. He said, I am not coming back. He said, I can't do it. He said, I couldn't even run a block, man. He said, so I know I'm not ever coming back ever again. So that was so funny.
Man.
Oh man, poor Lennox. Poor Lennox. Say what he knew what was good for him, man, after that Vitaly Klitschko fight.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
Even with that eye, Vitaly still wanted to whoop that ass. And he's like, no, thank you.
He's like,
no, thank you. I'm done. Forget it. And once again, Coach, how many fighters get out while the getting's good?
Not many.
Mm-hmm.
Not many get out while the getting's good.
Number 2 is one of those guys.
Vitaly would have had that eye taken out. He probably would have still fight.
Dude, that guy was a monster.
Oh man. All right, here we go with number 2.
Riddick Bowe. Best version of Bowe was arguably the best of the decade. The first fight with the whole field was epic. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Skills, size, power, intelligence, Coach. How many heavyweights had what Bowe had in his prime?
Oh, man, Bowe.
Fighter of the 90s.
Bowe was the man. He really was the man. And, but it's an old saying, styles make fights. This was, you couldn't ask for a better style matchup with Holyfield being aggressive and Bowe, aggressive as a big man, but as a boxer. Mm-hmm. And, this was epic, man. And the thing about it, they both fought at their best. They was in their prime when they fought. So, and I remember, because being in camp with Holyfield for so many years, him and Bowe used to spar a lot. Doing the amateurs, they sparred a lot. So it's not like these guys didn't know each other. So when they fought, it was always, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back because they used to spar with each other. So and and these guys, man, I'm telling you, man, these guys act like they hated each other the way they fought.
Mm.
But it was really great, man. You know, and we got some great fights out of these guys.
I wonder who number one is, Coach.
Yeah.
Got to be the real
I think
deal.
that the thing about that rivalry though, and we talk about who's here in the top three. After the first fight between Bo and who we have coming up, the thing that sticks with me is what Bo was doing after the fight. He steps outside the ring and he was face to face with Lennox and said, "I want you to know something, Burm."
But he never fought that bum, right?
Yeah, he never
boy.
did. He never. It never worked out. It never worked out. For them
It
to
could have
fight.
worked out. It
It
should have
could
worked
have.
out.
It
Yep.
should have, but it
But
didn't.
Bo didn't
And-
want that.
Nope.
Bo
Yeah,
didn't want it.
yeah, he did. He did. All right, here we go with number one.
Evander Holyfield fought and beat Tyson, Bo, Foreman, Moore, a true warrior with heart. And here's the thing about Evander Holyfield. He was one of the smallest heavyweights in boxing at that time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Holyfield was not a big heavyweight. I remember when he won the cruiserweight title.
Yep.
Right after I started working with him, right after that, when he moved up to heavyweight, and and I was like, man, Holy, you small, man. He said, I know. But he always said, I got a big heart. He always
was
said
all.
that. I got a big heart. He said, they can't beat my heart because I got a big heart.
It's not the size of the fight, or it's not the size of the dog in the fight, Coach.
That's right. And Holyfield was a true testament to that.
Mhm.
And but it was so crazy that Holyfield, he fought Tyson, he fought Foreman, and he fought Moore, right? And he fought Tyson. But Bo wouldn't fight Tyson.
Mhm. That says it all. That says it all, Coach. Tell you what,
and,
man.
And I like Riddick. Riddick was always a good dude to me, man. But everybody wanted to see him fight Tyson. Everybody wanted to see that fight. But he wouldn't fight Tyson, and he wouldn't fight Lennox.
That's something there. I mean, that the 90s, like I said, you had a whole lot of those great fighters in the 90s. As Joe said, in comparison to the 70s, the 90s was probably the second best era in the heavyweight division of the modern era. So
no doubt.
No, I'm saying in history.
in history, okay.
Absolutely.
Like even the C-level fighters, Coach, would throw down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the Big O versus Goofy Whitaker. I'm sorry, did I say Goofy? I didn't mean that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said Goofy. Like, think about this: Hasim Rahman versus Corey Sanders.
Yeah.
Hasim Rahman versus
Oliver McCall versus Lennox Lewis.
Oleg Moskayev. Holy cow!
I remember Oleg.
Oh man, he almost knocked him out of the ring twice.
Yeah.
He's right next to me. Right next to me. I can still remember Jim's call as it were yesterday, man. What a beautiful time for heavyweight boxing.
Yes, indeed.
Goodness, man.
So there's your number one, Coach, Evander Holyfield.
Yep.
Woo!
There it was, man. There it was.
Real deal.
Have time for anything else?
Hey, man, I don't know, man. We getting close to the 90-minute mark, and we had that many fact or fiction. So maybe do a couple more, and then we'll be able to close it out. How about that, Coach?
Hey, can we play the intro again?
All right, let's see if we can run that intro again. Here we go.
Hey, this show needed the cash cow back to introduce fact or fiction.
Thank you very much for bringing me back. Of course. So I had the grace, real boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields.
Woo! Thank you, boy.
Oh man. Oh, goodness. All right. So here we go. Fact or fiction? Here it is. From this point forward, the talk of Caleb Plant being a Hall of Fame fighter needs to stop. Fact or fiction?
Oh man, Caleb is my guy, man. He's a good dude. But yeah, that's a fact. You know, I mean, looking at Caleb the other night, man, something looked definitely wrong. Even when he got in the ring before the fight even started, he, he looked terrible. I mean, wow. Then, I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. I don't know. It just didn't look like he was there. Looked like his mind was somewhere else, man. He didn't look like
Well,
he.
I don't want to be one of those guys that says I told you so, but what did I say last week, Big James?
He said, "Don't be surprised if Armando Resendiz pulls off the upset."
But here's the
And
thing,
now
right?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, guys. I said that because I saw leading up to the fight at all the press events that he had some kind of weird ego going on. Like it was weird. Like I didn't like what I was seeing. I'm like, look, he's overlooking this kid.
Well,
And this is a
and I
tough
can
kid.
agree with you on that because they used to spar together all the time.
Mhm.
They did, and and maybe in the gym, Caleb had his way with him, and they just figured, hey, it's gonna be the same thing in a real fight with smaller gloves on. But I see this all the time when this kid is not a gym fighter, obviously.
Mhm.
And you could see, man, but Caleb didn't look like he was in great shape at all. He just didn't. He just looked like he didn't look like Caleb Plant to me. I don't know who he. But that I can't take away from his sentence though, because this kid came ready to fight.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, boy. I seen like he was doing a lot of things that, like, to be honest with you, I did not expect there from Armando Resendiz. I watched his fight there against Jared Hurd and his fight against Elijah Garcia.
Yeah.
And it's like Manny Robles and the team there, like really work there with Armando Resendiz, and he went in there. He was like bobbing and weaving. He was stepping in and out of the pocket and doing a lot of things in there that Caleb Plant just could not really stop that type of momentum. And even though Caleb said that maybe he had some issues with his right hand or whatever it is, but like the jab that he was throwing early, it didn't really phase Armando Resendiz. And then Resendiz just went to work and landed those left and right hooks there from round 3 and round 4. And as you said there, Coach Ronnie, after that, like Caleb Plant's energy level just went way down there.
The unexpected.
Yeah, he was trying to box off of his back foot, but that certainly did not work against Armando Resendiz.
No, not at all. Nothing worked.
The unexpected.
Yep.
So what were you saying about Hart, Coach? That's it.
Man. All right.
That's it.
So here we go. Next one. All right. Sorry, Jamal. You're never getting a Canelo Alvarez fight. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact now.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's a fact now because he had to fight.
Yep.
He had to fight twice.
Gave it to his brother.
The first time he gave it to his brother. The second time he wasn't ready.
Yeah. Yep.
Simple.
So you ain't getting three chances. Nope, not with Canelo. It's not gonna happen.
Nope. Especially now. Hey, Canelo. Hey, say hi to Jake Paul for me. Next into the mile, guys. Write it up. I'm telling you.
Oh man. Goodness.
Coach,
that'll be in the
am I lying about that?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go with this other one here. Jaime Munguia needs to stop eating at that Reynoso Steakhouse in Guadalajara. Fact or fiction?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, Chingo. It's all right. You're among friends, Coach. You can say it.
That but we still gotta wait for the B sample. But
Okay.
it's never been a B sample different from A sample.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
So
Man.
I don't know, man. Somebody's lying.
That Reynoso Steakhouse, it's busy.
But he's saying he had nothing to do with it. With
Okay.
Reynoso.
Okay.
I'll just say what I read
Okay.
today.
Hey,
What I read today.
Tell that.
You mean with Canelo as well as Oscar Valdez? No.
No.
Tell that to Jamal Charlo.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying what Reynoso said, that with Munguia, he only said with Munguia. He didn't say Canelo or nobody else. He just said with Munguia, all he does is training.
Okay. Okay. Hey,
And
pass that A1, Reynoso.
Listen.
Look here, he
A1,
named
brother.
somebody else. He named somebody else as
Pass that A1, brother.
I'm not gonna do anything like that.
Yeah. Oh man.
You don't have to,
No.
coach. Everyone's already doing it for you.
Listen. I've admitted that I've not been much of a fan of Jaime Munguia, and when Bruno Sriracha gave him that
No. We're going to start calling it now as Reynoso 57. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. I was just looking forward to the rematch and seeing if Bruno Sriracha would put Jaime Munguia out of commission or something once and for all. And then you see the performance there from Jaime Munguia, and I'm like, oh man, what's
He had that
going on?
good. He had that good. Telling you.
Goodness. Hey, it was in Saudi Arabia, so I mean, they might not have those type of stringent rules in Saudi Arabia. So hey,
He had that Heinz 57 special sauce.
Oh man. All right. Oh goodness, man. All right, here last one here for Fact or Fiction. The fight to make at 160 pounds is Carlos Adames versus Yoeli Feliciano Hernandez. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact, man. That fight gotta happen. And you know what? That fight has to be in Miami. I don't care about what they can't do. Here's what they can't do. We're worried about the site fee going to Vegas or anywhere else, because them Cubans are not gonna. A lot of Cubans aren't going to travel to Las Vegas, but they will. Man, they could put that in the stadium in Miami, and that's going to sell out.
So pull up George's most recent comment.
Oh, hold on, let me get that there. And he says, "What about Adames versus Janibek?"
No,
Janibek's days at 160 are long gone, brother. He's moving up to 68. I know this for a fact. Thank you very much.
No, but the fight is Adames and Yoenis, because I'm gonna tell you something. Yoenis, I think Yoenis knocks him out.
Woo!
I do.
Is there any stopping the Feliciano Express?
No stopping that kid. That kid is great, man. He's a hard worker, and man, and I like I said, I've seen it for myself, and this kid, he's unbelievable. He really is, and this kid is going to be middleweight champion.
And
For a long time, coach. For a long time. Hey, just ask Kyron Davis getting his tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
Or ask Stephen Brentman Edwards talking about, you missed 100% of the shots you don't throw, or something he yelled out to her during that fight. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Yoeli's a bad dude. Yoeli Feliciano's a bad dude.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So Murtazaliev, think twice about moving up to 160, brother. Yes.
Got somebody waiting on him.
Oh, he definitely do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's definitely, because I seen him there live February 1st in Vegas, taking care of business there on that last fight. And seeing him here against Kyron, it was like he was just showing out and pretty much like embarrassing Kyron Davis. We seen what happened there in the 10th round. He's like, come on.
That's when he knocked his tooth out.
Yeah.
That was
man,
ugly.
Yeah.
That was ugly, brother.
absolutely brutal, man. So, definitely looking forward to, what Wendy Hernandez could do here in the middleweight division. I know he's, ranked currently at number 1 in the WBA, but yeah, he could really go after either, as we said here, with Carlos Adames
I'm
or
sorry, who's Carlos Adames signed with?
oh man, I don't forgot who he's directly signed with.
PBC.
Oh yeah,
PBC,
he's with
brother.
PBC, yeah. I mean, they might have him, go ahead with the mandatory defense here coming up, but after that, Wendy may be knocking on the door.
This was funny, right? Nobody's talking about Lara.
Nobody.
I wonder why, Coach.
Oh man. Oh
I'm
goodness.
sorry, who? Who, Coach? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Woo!
WBA champion there at 160 pounds, and yet, yeah, nobody's talking about it. But
Nobody.
Sorry, man.
yeah.
Yoenli, he's the future of the middleweight division.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Yoenli. Look. Who said that Carlos Adames? Or you're talking about Erzlandi?
Erzlandi.
Okay, yeah, Cubans don't fight each other, Coach, do they?
Oh, yes, they do too. Yes, they do too.
Oh man.
Woo!
Oh goodness. So,
You've seen it.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I tell you what, honestly, I think this may be one of my favorite shows with Coach Ronnie. How long have we been doing this show, Coach? For like 12, 13 years?
Yeah, at least.
This may be one of my favorite shows ever with Coach Ronnie Shields.
yeah, definitely was a great show here. Definitely with the of course the rapid fire, and then the debut of the top 10 there, going back to the 90s. That was really good with the 90s heavyweights and the top 10 fights there the past 30 or so years. Goodness, man, it's a lot of classics that have happened during that time frame there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end this, James, with one final rapid fire Q&A for Coach Ronnie.
All right, let's see here if we can do that. All right, let me see what we can pull up here. And all right, here we go. All right, hold on. Or no, I'm gonna save that one for last. All right, here we go. More legendary sneaker line: Air Jordans or the Reebok pumps?
Oh, Air Jordans.
Wait,
was the easy one.
Reebok pumps.
Yeah, not the pumps.
Not the pumps.
The pumps and the bumps.
Hammer.
That's right. You know Hammer.
The pumps and the bump.
The pumps and the bumps.
Give me the girl with the pumps and the bump.
That's it.
Oh man.
That's it.
Here we go. Better sports movie, Major League or The Sandlot?
Oh, The Sandlot, man.
Yes.
Sandlot.
Woo!
That was my movie, man.
Yep.
Man. That definitely was a good one. Although I like Major League a lot.
Me
I
too.
love
Major
but
League
the
was funny.
Sandlot is a staple.
Yeah, The Sandlot is a staple.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, here we go with this next one. More chaotic mall hangout vibe: Orange Julius or Luca's Pizza?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to go with Lucas Pizza, man.
Yes, sir. Woo! Man, Lucas Pizza was the bomb back in the day, Coach. In all the malls.
Oh yeah. Couldn't miss.
Good times, Coach. Good times. That's we won't go any further than that. Good
All
times
right.
at Lucas Pizza.
Telling our age, huh?
All right. All right, now here's the last one, and this one is the one right here. Okay, this one's the one right here.
Oh.
Better cartoon with the theme song stuck in your head forever: DuckTales or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
jeez.
Hey, both of them were very, very
Wait a minute.
memorable.
Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle, Coach? Mine was Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael was I think Raphael
Yeah,
was
he was
mine
the Mike
too.
Tyson of the Ninja Turtles.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Oh man. Oh goodness. Two classics. But the one that gets me with DuckTales is when they had someone talking about he couldn't be a gangster or nothing like that, man. It's like, you mean I couldn't sing the DuckTales thing? Like this, like Hurricane here. I was like, oh God.
Dude, everyone remembers both of those themes, man. They were staples, brother. But yes, Coach Ronnie is correct. Unlike Jody Watley, Coach Ronnie is correct in this.
That's right, Jody Watley.
Oh,
Short A.
yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Like I said, that's Joe. That's gonna last for the rest of the year.
Oh, stop it,
Absolutely.
man. I'll be 80 and I'll still say Jody Watley. Come on now.
No.
Oh man. Oh man. Goodness.
Coach, this has been a memorable show, brother. Thank you. Thank you for everything, Coach. We love you, man. Woo!
Oh man. Oh, that was definitely great. Definitely great there, man. With that being said, that brings a close here for this edition of Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. And Coach, you have any last words here for the people before we roll out?
As always, you can always follow me on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
That's right. Follow him on Instagram there. Be sure to catch up with him. And of course, we got Justin Paul Doe going up there against Juan Carlos Burgos, June 7th, Pro Box TV. Y'all catch that. And with that being said, that is it for Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. Have a great evening, everybody.
Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.